Are you tired of feeling like a failure as a writer? Sick of watching your sales figures hover around zero? In the world of digital publishing, why do some books jump to their category's bestseller lists on sites like Amazon, iTunes, and Smashwords, while others linger all the way back on pages no one ever sees? In the next 3 minutes, I'll tell you why, plus I'll show you a zero-effort way to stand out from the crowd and be a successful author. So, what is it that sets successful writers apart? Well, as Stephen King said, to write is human, to edit, divine. Best-selling writers have editors that help them perfect their books before they post them for sale. But you can't pick just anybody. Maybe your neighbor is a retired New York editor, or maybe your sister-in-law is a best-selling author. But if not, just getting advice from a random friend can do more damage than good. So how do you find a quality editor? My name is Ben, and I'm the Fiction Doctor. I'll diagnose what's ailing your novel and help you treat it. We'll make sure you hook readers, give them a thrill ride, and leave them wanting more. Think about the last time you read a really great book. I'll bet you hardly noticed the writing. The stories and characters seemed so real, it's like you were there with them. But when you read a poorly edited book, you're not just faced with typos and bad grammar. You're barraged with cliched settings, boring characters, and unbelievable plots. It's sloppy. No one likes to read sloppy. But you don't want to create a sloppy novel. You want something you can be proud of. That's where I come in. I'll show you how to invoke a setting in your reader's mind, develop inspiring heroes and sympathetic villains, and craft a plot that keeps your audience reading straight through the night. With the Fiction Doctor, you'll create quality fiction that has what it takes to move up the charts. Here's my simple 3-step process. Step 1. You fill out the form and tell me a little bit about your project. If I feel I can help you, I send you a quote and we start working together. Step 2. I read your draft and give you a written report on your plot and character arcs. We'll make sure it's the most powerful story possible. Step 3. After that's straightened out, I dive into line editing. Have you heard how Stephen King says that a final draft equals a first draft minus 10%? Well, I'll show you how to cut that 10%. Your final draft will suck your readers into the story so much that they forget what day it is. As a bonus, once it's all done, we run through my 10-point checklist where I'll show you tricks and secrets to becoming an online bestseller. Now, you might be wondering who I am. Like I said, my name is Ben and I'm the Fiction Doctor. I sold my first 4 stories to literary magazines while I was still a teenager. Since then, I've won contests and my fiction has even been on my category's front page on the Amazon Kindle store. I studied creative writing at the College of William & Mary, which U.S. News & World Report consistently ranks as a top 5 public university, and which was recently ranked as a top 10 smartest school in the country. While there, I was lucky enough to learn from visiting writers like David L. Robbins and Tom DeHaven, who taught me what makes a compelling story. Now, David's written 10 best-selling thrillers and World War II epics, and Tom's published dozens of works, including a fantasy trilogy and a literary novel about Clark Kent, contracted by DC Comics. Here's what David had to say about me. Ben displayed a speedy grasp of editing skills and writing craft. But it's not just my mentors who are saying that the Fiction Doctor will help turn your novel into quality fiction. It's those I've already helped as well. Beth Sutherland, author and expert in medieval literature, said, Ben was, without a doubt, the most incisive, unflinching editor. Even Max Fisher, recent associate editor for the Atlantic Weekly and current writer for the Washington Post, said, Ben has a keen understanding of how to produce publishable fiction. If you'd like to join these fine writers in employing the Fiction Doctor's services to create a best-selling novel that you can be proud of, fill out the form now. Now, you might be asking, if you know how to write a bestseller, why haven't you? Well, like I mentioned, my fiction has spent some time on my category's bestseller page. And actually, that question is a bit flawed. Most of the editors for the big 6 publishers aren't successful fiction writers. Most agents aren't either. Helping an author perfect their story is a different skill than writing those words yourself. Sure, I write as a hobby, but my passion is helping other writers turn their work into quality, best-selling fiction. That's what I'm good at. That's what I love. It's why I'm the Fiction Doctor. So, if you're ready to stop worrying you'll disappear in a crowd of sloppy fiction, then you've got to follow Stephen King's advice and do what successful writers do. Get an editor's help. Fill out the form to request a free quote from the Fiction Doctor today. You're just one step away from becoming a successful writer.